You guys, look what is finally here. I got the GLAMLITE Ghost Face collection, the full freaking PR box. Oh my gosh. This is so cool and I'm just so excited. I have been so ready for this collection since they started sneak peeking it. I think they've been sneak peeking it for months now, and now they're actually doing a whole horror movie series, which I think is so much fun. So literally the Friday the 13th Jason collection is coming out this Friday. I probably won't receive that one in PR, but I'm probably gonna order the palette at least. But thank you to GLAMLITE and Anthony for sending me this Ghost Face PR collection. I actually ended up ordering quite a few things from the collection, but they actually ended up sending me the box instead, which was so sweet. So I'm excited. Let's go ahead and get into this. So this PR box is, I think, the only thing sold out in the collection. You can still order the full collection at a discounted price, but you just won't get the like fun ghost face box. But I think everything is still available, even like the mirror and the purse they did with the collection. I don't have the purse, but how cool is this? So we're gonna dive into all the products. I'm gonna show you guys each piece one by one, insert some prices, do some swatches, and we'll do a full look because they have a full collection here, a little bit of everything, which I love that they do. They kind of remind me of like a better quality, a little more higher end version of ColourPop. You know how ColourPop usually goes all out with their collections. GLAMLITE does too, but GLAMLITE has been one of my favorite formulas this year that I have tried. I've been diving into more indie brands and they just have such a special shimmer and matte formula at a decent price. Like, they're not super high end. I feel like they're a nice mid-range price point. Okay, anyways, let's get into this. So we have here the eyeshadow palette. I love that it comes as like a fun TV screen. That is just so cool. Very old school. And it's that type of material that like changes the scene, which I think is so cool. And then you open it up, and I did go ahead and swatch this already, so mine has been dug into a little bit, and we have the colors, and it actually says Ghost Face Lives on it as well, which is so cool, just the extra theming, and there is some like imprints on here. I'll go ahead and put a little video here that I took on my reels when it was unopened so you guys could see how it looks once you don't touch it, because I mean, once you start pressing into the shadows, it is kind of hard to see, but I love that. I think that is so cool. And this is a very smoky palette, which I'm all about. I love cool tones, so I was actually really excited when I saw the color story. I know a lot of people were disappointed because they wanted more reds for like the blood and all of that, but I think they did incorporate some reds throughout the collection to make up for that. Personally, I already had enough reds when I ordered the Chucky palette from them, which was their first horror series they did for Valentine's Day, and that one had a lot of smoky shades and reds, so I feel like they went even more cooler with this one, so it wasn't too similar. And I personally love the color story. I think it's awesome, and it will be such a nice go-to smoky palette for fall and winter. You don't have to just use this for spooky season, because I mean, you can use these shades all year round. Let me go ahead and insert the swatches for you. I think there is just some really stunning silvers in here. There is some mattes with a little sparkle in it, so we'll see how those blend on the eyes. The mattes did feel really soft and they were very pigmented, and their shimmers to me are always very sparkly and they're very soft to the touch. It's really creamy when you apply them on. So I love the color story, especially the shade Mirror Gleam is really calling my name. It has like this iridescence, almost green to it, so I feel like I have to use that color today. But yeah, I'm excited. We also have in this collection a new eyeliner. This is called the Killer Eyeliner, and I did swatch this one earlier, and wow, this one really stays on. It is a liquid type, and the packaging is actually really cool on it because it kind of has the blood splatter on it, and it is one of these like twist out ones. So it has the liquid inside. It swatches really nice. I'm curious to try this. Maybe we can do a winged look today, but this one really does not budge. It dries down pretty quickly. There is 2 cheek products in the collection. So excited for these. We have a blush. So here's where more of the red comes in. Again, with the fun changing packaging. With the blood splatter, so cool. And this is the Horror Powder Blush. And it's this bright kind of cherry red, and it does have the ghost face on the inside, and this one actually does swatch pretty bright, so it is a very bright color. Definitely will have to use a light hand with this one, but I think that is so fun. Now we also have a little highlight duo in the collection, which I was really excited for this one. The shades look beautiful, and then here's the changing packaging again. Normal to blood splatter. Love it. And this one actually is a little duo. I love the imprints on here too. We have ghost face and then a knife, and we have more of like your pearly highlight and a more champagne tone, but oh my gosh, GLAMLITE has some of the best highlighters. Seriously, how pretty are those? You could wear alone or mixed together. The top one is just more icy. The bottom one has a little bit more gold in the color. We do have 2 lip kits in this collection as well. GLAMLITE always loves to do a lip kit. This first one is really interesting. So this is just the ghost face lip kit. And again, these look like little VCR tapes. Oh my gosh, so cool. And then you take out the lip liner, and this one comes with a lipstick as well. So the lip liner is actually black, which is very interesting. You can see like this eyeliner does not want to come off, but here is the black lip liner. It's really creamy, but so interesting to have because the lipstick is actually a nude color. But I love the packaging on this. You have ghost face, and then it says ghost face here, and then you actually have the knife here where you press down and the lipstick pops up. It's a very cool like sandy nude. It has the ghost face on a top. So you're supposed to wear these together, which is interesting. But that is how that looks. Maybe we'll try that out, we'll see. And then we have another lip kit. This one is the Ghost Blood lip kit. So this one actually comes with a red lip liner, of course. So again, incorporating that red color. And it is a true red, nice creamy formula. And this one also contains a gloss, which looks like this. It has like the blood splatter on the lid. And this one's actually really cool. It's very pigmented, and it actually, the color of it looks like wet, like blood. So I find that to be really cool that they did a gloss instead of like a matte liquid lip, because it really does look like a blood red, and the wetness just kind of makes it look real. So I thought that was cool. Now we also have a little lip duo, which has a lip scrub and a mask, and this one looks like a little popcorn box like you're at the drive-ins, which is cool. On the side it says featuring the icon of Halloween. These are both black cherry scented. It smells so good. It smells like cherry chapstick. If you guys have bought the Fenty body scrub, that's what this reminds me of, and it is like this dark cherry red, which is so fun. I'm just gonna do a little bit on my lips right now. I like their scrubs and mask. I've tried them before in the Scooby-Doo collection, I think. They're really nice, and they get all the dead skin off as well as hydrating the lips. And they're like a sugar formula, so you can just lick it off if you want. And then we'll do a little bit of the lip mask on top. Ooh, this one gives a little color too. So that's actually really nice. I love that it gives a little color, so I can wear this during the day and have a little bit of something on the lips. And then the very last product we have, oh my gosh, I was so excited for this, but they did a mirror in the collection. So we have the Ghost Face mirror. This looks so good, the quality, oh my gosh, I love it. And look at that, it has the little drips here, and it has the GLAMLITE logo here, and it kind of turns into a knife at the end. So I feel like this is a must-have of the collection. I'm so excited about that. I'm really shocked it hasn't sold out yet. As mentioned, if any of this caught your eye right away and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to check this out, this is all still in stock, and you can actually use my code LeahJanae to save 15% off of their already really good prices. I've had a code with them for a while. I don't get all the PR though, but I mean, if you guys do use my code, I do greatly appreciate it. It probably helps me, you know, get further up on the list to maybe start receiving more of their collections because I am such a fan. But yeah, I do want to go ahead and try everything on, so let's do a fun tutorial and test the products out. Alright guys, so let's start with the eyes, of course. We're going to do a fun smoky look today. I'm going to use quite a few shades to try everything out. Let's go ahead and start with this kind of more light gray. This is Movie Night. We're going to go ahead and put this in like the inner corner very lightly because I want to keep the inner corner more bright. And then we're going to get a little darker. We're going to go with Ghostly Gray and put that towards the outer half. The GLAMLITE mattes are so good. Very easy to blend and super soft. I'm just using the same brush for all of this. This is my Sephora number 24 crease brush. It's just my fave, but I'm actually gonna go ahead and try this sparkly black. And I wanna use this in the outer corner. This one is Total Suspense. I am gonna tap some of the excess off, and then we're gonna kinda blend this into the outer corner. This isn't the darkest black in the collection, but I just wanted to see how this would look on. Because usually, I don't know, those mattes, they always have a little sparkle in them. I think it's mostly for looks. So some people say it helps the shadow blend even better, but it's actually a very pigmented black for not even being the darkest one in the palette, which is kind of crazy. But it's very easy to work with. I know some dark blacks can be a little difficult and hard to blend, very patchy. This one's great. I'm loving the pigmentation of it. Next, I will take the darkest black in the palette, which is the Vintage Mask. And I'm just gonna take a little bit and just really concentrate that on the very outer part of the eye, just so that section is pretty deep. And we'll only just very lightly blend that, just because I want to keep the depth there. For my lower lash line, I'm going to take a little bit of this dark gray called Halloween Icon. These names are so fun. And we'll go ahead and blend this on the lower lash line. And with this, I'm just using a BK 210 brush, which has a nice kind of pointed tip. And we'll go ahead and add a little bit of that sparkly black, the Total Suspense. Okay, it's time to test these shimmers. So I kind of have an idea of what I want to do. Let me start with Mask Mystery. I feel like that's a tongue twister. This is a very dark shimmer. I'm just gonna place this in more of the outer half, kind of going over top of the dark black mattes that we use, just to keep, you know, the depth and just adding a little shimmer to that. You can just see the iridescent sparkles. Love that. Kind of gonna do a little gradient here. So let's take this silver. This is Midnight Robe. And I'm gonna place that kind of here in the middle. Like very intense metallics, you guys could see. My memory card is like full on my camera, so I have to keep deleting stuff. I'm not sure if it got that part, but I'm taking the Fun Green Shift in Mirror Gleam, and I'm placing this just all over because I started in the inner corner and I thought it was so pretty that I wanted to use it on the entire lid. It's such a pretty shade. I love that they added that. It just adds something extra to this color palette, so it's not just smoky tones. It has that special duochrome too, where it shifts green to pink. So pretty. Now, I think this palette is missing one thing for me, and I would have loved just a white-ish pearl. Even if it had like a shift to it, I would love something for my inner corner, just like a white shade to more represent Ghostface himself. I think that would have been nice, even if it was just a matte white. I feel like that's what this is missing, but I'm still very happy with it. I wish I had something to throw in my inner corner, because I mean, you can use the Mirror Gleam that I put, but it kind of pulls a little too green in the inner corner that I don't really love how that looks there. So that's not my favorite. I might actually cover that up and put the highlight there instead. So I guess you could do that. Maybe that's where the white comes in. But I would have loved to see it in the palette itself. I almost forgot I wanted to do the liquid liner. So let's do that. This actually seems pretty easy to use. It is creating a thin line, which is really nice. It's super thin. Yeah, that's actually really nice. It doesn't get too thick. It stays really thin, so you just start small and continue to build. So it's a little time consuming, but I am terrible at wings, so I gotta start small like this. Okay, I'm actually impressed. That looks really good. For the first time, it didn't mess up at all. And I do wings like maybe 3 times a year, so I feel like that looks pretty good. It's just a little wing, nothing crazy. I know it's a little hard to see because we do have the depth already back there, but I think this will look nice with some lashes thrown on. So I'm probably gonna do that. We'll clean up with some concealer, put some brows on, and we'll be back to test the rest of the products. Okay, so I got my lashes on and everything. I will tell you, I had to thicken up the eyeliner because I feel like you couldn't really see it, so I did do that. I'm not sure if I love this. I feel like it was easy to apply, but it also kind of dries so fast. I feel like I can feel it almost tugging on my lids because it's so dry and tight, and I feel like it's kind of wrinkling a little bit, so I'm not really loving that. Even though it is a long wear liner, I just don't like how it feels, and I do feel like you kind of do have to build it up quite a bit to get where you want it since it is thinner. So now it's time to try the blush, which I'm a little nervous about because it is this bright color. I'm going to use a pretty fluffy brush. This is the Sigma F10, and we'll just take a little bit of this. Maybe tap the excess off, maybe put a little bit on my hand so it's not so intense, and then we'll go ahead and apply. So that definitely helps if you do tap the excess onto your hand first, just so it doesn't get a little crazy if you're more fair like me and you still want to try it, because it does make this pretty like pink flush kind of look. But I just feel like it's a lot of extra work that I have to do to make this work. And then when you have to apply it so light, I feel like it's a little more patchy because you can't go on like full pigment. So this is just like very intense for me. I'm gonna go ahead and get the color where I want it to be though, just keeping on blending, and then we'll go over that with some of my foundation just to tone it down a bit. I'm just going in with my foundation brush and just kind of lightly putting that on top just to kind of blend things out, and that looks a lot better. Just a little bit more natural looking, but it is a really pretty pink. Now I am excited for the highlighter though. Oh my gosh, let's go ahead and do the more silvery highlight with the ghost face on it. I want to use this as my inner corner on my eyes. So I'm just going to go ahead and place that. Oh my gosh, so pretty. Yeah, that is a nice inner corner shade. So I guess maybe they were intending that you could use this as that inner corner, but again, I would have liked to see it in the palette if you just plan on picking up the palette and not like anything else from the collection, but it is very beautiful. And then we'll use the more champagne highlight as my face highlight. So we'll go ahead and apply this to the cheekbones. So pretty. GLAMLITE always has a really stunning highlight formula, and it's still very icy and beaming. Lastly is lips, and I'm a little nervous, but I do want to try this like black and nude combo, see what it looks like. So let's just dive in. Now that that's mostly kind of filled in, it's not as intense as I thought it would be. Let's see if we could blend this nude with it. Oh, it kind of turns gray because it's mixing with the lip liner, which actually makes sense. It does look very spooky. It looks ghostly. I'm gonna clean up just a little bit on the edges. Okay guys, so here is the final look. I absolutely love how it came out. Definitely spooky vibes. Definitely reminds me of Scream Ghostface. I think it's so much fun. So let me go ahead and tell you guys my thoughts so far after we've tried all these products. So overall, I think this is such a fun collection. I think it's overall very well curated and definitely, I think, goes with the movie. It may even be one of my favorite Halloween releases of the year, and I have tried a lot this year. I do plan on doing a fun ranking. I mean, I'm gonna have to see how the other Glamlite Halloween releases are with their other horror movie series, like the Friday the 13th and then the Nightmare on Elm Street. I think they have one more planned too. I have no clue what it's gonna be, but I really liked this collection. I do have some things I do like more than others though, so let me share with you kind of like my top must-haves from the collection if you're kind of looking to get a couple things. Number one, obviously the eyeshadow palette. This is definitely my favorite thing from the collection. I loved it. It's amazing Glamlite formula that I know and love, and I love the color story. I know it's not for everyone, but if you guys like smoky, cool tones, I think you're going to love this one. And it's not just silvers and grays. There's some purples thrown in there. There's some blues in there, and I especially love that shifty pinky green shade. Such a special one, so I like it. I'm not mad that there's not reds in here. Personally, I probably wouldn't have used them anyway, but that's gonna be personal preference. I do want to go ahead and compare this to a couple other Glamlite palettes though, just to see how similar they are. I grabbed my Hershey's. This is the Cookies and Cream. This is a little smaller palette, but it did remind me of the Ghost Face just because it does have more of those silvers and blues, but I did end up swatching these side by side and they actually seemed pretty different in tones, so these didn't really match up as much as I thought they would be. They do have a general similar idea, but I think I like the selection in the Ghost Face even more than this Hershey's one, but they're both really great quality. And then I was curious to see how similar it would be to the Chucky palette that they released earlier this year. And I actually find these to also be very different. If you're wanting more of those reds, I think the Chucky palette is the way to go because it does have some more warmer purples and burgundies in there. It was a Valentine's release, so it kind of fits with that coloring. But yeah, this one's definitely more cool tone with the Ghost Face, and I like the color scheme better in Ghost Face, honestly, but that's just me. I like cool tones, but I did not find these to be exact. I'm so curious to see how this Chucky palette will compare to the new Friday the 13th. Overall, I love the palette. I think this is going to be my go-to palette for smoky eyes, hands down. Now, my next favorite item in the collection is actually the mirror, just because this is so cool to have. I'm going to be using this all month long, probably even when it's not even Halloween, but I always get ready with hand mirrors all the time, so this is very useful to me because I don't have like a big vanity mirror that I use. I'm just always using either my palette mirrors or a hand mirror, and this one is so cool, and I think the quality is really good on this, so this is my second must-have in the collection. My third must-have is the highlighter. I loved this. I love that there's two different tones in here, and you can kind of play with this and work it in with the eyeshadow palette as well. I love these tones. I love cool tone icy highlighters for my skin tone. I know it's not for everyone, but these are my kind of shades, and I love the imprints on here, so this one was definitely a really good one for me, and I like that it's a little bit different tones you can mix together or go for whatever color you're feeling that day, but it is so pretty on the cheeks too. It gives you that very stunning, blinding highlight, so I love this. I think it's a must in the collection. And then kind of my last must-haves, and then we're gonna get into the things I think are okay. I really liked these lip scrub and lip mask little duo as well. It smells so good. It gives me that nostalgic cherry chopstick smell, and they work really nice too. Very moisturizing. I love that the lip mask even has a little tint to it, so I think this is fun, and I would definitely recommend picking it up. As far as the lip sets go, I think these are fine. They're not must-haves for me though, because these are very out there colors. I do like something a little more wearable, but I do think this is a fun Halloween color, and I would definitely pull out the nude set out with the black liner for a more spooky vibe, but it's very rare that I'm gonna wear a black kind of lip look or even gray. The red one's definitely a little more wearable for me, but when I do wear darker colors like this, I typically don't like a lip gloss because it's messy, it gets around. I prefer a liquid lip, but I think the vibes that they're going for, how it looks like blood, definitely fits, but it's just not the formulas that I like, and I don't wear reds a lot, so that's just my preference, but I think it's gonna look cool. I know I didn't try it out today, but I will definitely have to wear this in an upcoming video soon. The blush I think is a really fun idea as well, but this is just not my kind of color. I don't really like products that I have to be super careful with, or it's going to take time to kind of blend out. usually I'm in a rush and I don't want to spend 10 minutes on my blush, so this is just a little too dark for me. I think it's a fun concept though, and again, if you were kind of wanting more of the reds in the palette, like try this as eyeshadow, see how it goes. But yeah, it's too dark for me, but I think it's fun and it does fit in with the ghost face theming really well, but it's just not a must-have for me. Not something I'm going to reach for all the time. And then the product I didn't really care for is actually the liner, just because how this feels on the eyes. I feel like it's a little bit better now, but it's not my favorite. I do prefer one that's not like so liquidy as this, and maybe more of a thicker tip on it, but it just feels so dry. It dries so fast. I mean, it's nice that it doesn't budge, but it just feels like it's a little uncomfortable on the eyes, so that's probably my least favorite thing. But after that, I think we've gone over a little bit of everything. I really enjoyed this collection. I think it was so much fun. Thank you to GLAMLITE for sending the box over, but I was totally buying this collection regardless. If you guys want to pick anything up, I'll have my link down below. Again, you can save 15% off with the code LeahJanae on any of these items. They are still in stock. You can also use it if you're planning to buy the Friday the 13th palette launch, which I'm going to throw up a picture here because it looks really cool. It's still very cool tone, but it has a little bit more like turquoise blues in there. There's a pop of red and some greens, a little more neutrally, so I think it's going to be interesting. So I'm planning to pick that one up. You can use my code on that collection as well. I'll try to do a reminder when it launches, and I also may talk about it a little bit more in tomorrow's video. I was thinking about doing a purchase or a pass. I haven't decided yet. Let me know if you guys want to see that. I think that's it for the video. Let me know your thoughts on this collection. Are you guys picking it up? Are you passing on it? You've probably already picked it up already, I'm assuming, if it was something you were really interested in, because I do have mine a little bit later. Keep in mind their shipping is gonna take a little bit because they have so many orders right now and they're still somewhat of a smaller company, so you know, just be patient. It will come, and you can totally use these items outside of Halloween. But I'm gonna let you guys go. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.